Justin Meddy. We're here at Centennial Football Conference Media Day, and I'm joined first by Gettysburg College head coach Barry Streeter and quarterback Zach Miller. Coach, you're kind of the dean of colleges in the Centennial Conference, if you will. This is your 36th season with the Bullets. How has the conference and coaching changed in the last 3.5 decades?
I like the way you put that, 3.5 decades. It's changed. The conference has just gotten more and more competitive each year. When we first started the conference back in 80, whatever that was, 82, 83, quite honestly, there were some places that recruited hard and some that were just kind of recruiting, and everybody recruits really hard now. So I think, number one, recruiting is jacked up for everybody, and number two, all the coaches can coach. There's no question that every game you've got to be totally prepared in order to be successful. So I would say that. And then the other thing is we added, I think it's been great that we've added Susquehanna, Moravian, and Juniata in the last several years. That's only made it more and more competitive.
You returned 9 starters on offense from an offense that averaged 450-some yards and over 30 points a game last season. What made you guys so potent?
Well, I think, number one, our players totally trust in what we're doing offensively. They firmly believe, and you can check with Zach on this, they firmly believe we're going to score every time we have the ball, which in some cases becomes a negative thing because you have to calm them down once in a while. But the trust in what we're doing, and number two, players like Zach, our quarterbacks in the last several years, the last 4 or 5 quarterbacks have been outstanding for us, and Zach's no different than that. And that's been good. And I think that Kevin Burke, our offensive coordinator, has done a great job in preparing our team in that respect.
Zach threw for nearly 2,500 yards, 15 touchdowns last year. How do you look for him in year 2 to evolve, to grow his game?
I just think that as the season went on last year, he became more and more effective because he was feeling more and more comfortable. And Zach's a very cerebral player, and he really has, by the time the season was coming to a close, he had grasped what we were doing. So I expect him to pick up where he left off, and just be more and more successful. I mean, we're really excited to have Zach back as our quarterback.
Zach, what are your hopes for this year? And again, you have 9 guys back on offense. How does that consistency help your team?
It's great. Especially with all of our line coming back. That's huge for us. Coach Burke and obviously Coach Streeter, they do a great job of getting us prepared. From day one, when we come in as freshmen, they kind of lay it down for us what they expect from us from an offensive standpoint. We like to go out there and, like Coach said, score every time we have the ball. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, it doesn't matter. We want everyone to contribute. And I think that's what kind of makes us so effective, is that regardless of what class you are, when you come to Gettysburg College, you're expected to contribute, that gets us going.
Coach, having a quarterback back and 5 linemen, including a preseason All-American back from last year, how does that help in game planning and strategy, knowing you have all that experience?
It's great. I think, especially having your quarterback back, you don't have to alternate them in preseason. You know who your starter's going to be unless something strange really happens, an injury or he forgets everything over the summer or something like that. But having as many starters back, we can just pick up where we left off in the spring. I mean, in the spring we had a great spring overall team-wise, but offensively, and so the little. We're always making a few changes here and there as far as things that we do, and they're subtle, and our guys have picked up on that. So it's just pick up where we left off and let's go, and I totally expect that to happen.
I assume junior Kyle Wigley is going to be one of the main running backs this year. What does he bring to the table?
Kyle's, first of all, he's a very tough kid, and he's got very good quickness, and he had 800 and some yards last year, and he really alternated with Eddie Hutchins, who will be a senior. Both those guys have they read well, and Wigley has a little bit more acceleration and speed, but both Hutch and Wigley are very good. We feel great about that. When you have your tailback back and your quarterback back and a line, there's nothing wrong with that.
We're talking a lot about the offense, but your defense, you have 8 guys back there as well. What does that do for your game planning, and tell me a little bit about your strengths on weakness on defense?
Okay. We're excited that we have 8 players back that started most of the year last year. What that's going to do is just like it would be on offense, it gives us an advantage just because they understand what we're doing. We're making some changes in what we're going to do as far as X and O wise, but from a personnel standpoint, we've got guys that understand and have been on the field, and that's critical at any position.
Who are you expecting to be the key players in the secondary this year?
In the secondary, we have 3 of our 4 starters back from last year. Brian Calatozo starts at a corner. He's a very productive young man. He had I think he had 5 interceptions last year for us. Mike Cornegay is a starting free safety from last year, our starting strong safety. Gordon Prince is back. He's one of our captains. And so we just need to find – now they're going to get pushed. They're going to be pushed by some younger players, I can assure you that. And we need to make sure we solidify that other corner position as well.
Zach, just want to get back to you for a second here. We're going to really talk about the line too much, but how does having that big line in front of you, 5 starters back, help you as a quarterback?
It's awesome as a quarterback. That's what you're looking for. Mike Reale, another captain. He's really the main guy on our line. He's the leader of the line. We've got guys like Breen, Anthony Giuliano. We got all of our line coming back. It's great. Reale and myself, we're kind of the leaders on the offense. We're great friends. To have the line back, it's awesome. And, I know that they have my back. I have their back. It's awesome.
Coach, I assume Robbie Fay will be handling the punting duties for you. He was second team All Centennial Conference last year. Who's going to be your place kicker?
Robbie Fay.
Okay.
It's pretty easy. That way I don't get confused on who to send out. But no, Robbie's been a great place kicker for us in the past. We alternated a couple guys last year, but Robbie has been the most consistent place kicker, and he'll be our place kicker as well as our punter. I think he's an excellent punter. And he's going to get some pressure a little bit from Garrett Long, who's from Cumberland Valley, actually. And Garrett's got a very strong leg, and he's going to put some pressure on Robbie. But Robbie's the guy that we're thinking at this point.
And this question's for either one of you guys. Just finally, some goals for the year. What are your hopes as for the team? We go to the quarterback first.
We expect to win the Centennial Conference championship. I think every team here does, but that's why you play the game, to win the championship. Coach touched on it a little bit, but last spring we kind of changed the culture of our team. We wanted to make ourselves physically and mentally stronger, and I think we've done that. We laid down the foundation, but we expect to have more leadership, especially from the captains, be more vocal, and I think that'll go a long way.
Thanks. Coach, you echo the same sentiments there?
No question. Just like every other team in the conference, excuse me, everyone has that as their goal, to win the conference championship. And then the exciting thing is, probably the best thing about us right now is our leadership. I really feel strongly about that, and that's a good thing to have.
Having 17 starters back should do that for you. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Good luck this year. Zach, good luck this year.